With the release of the Snyder Cut, I thought it was only fitting to rank the existing 10 movies in the DC Extended Universe. This is excluding Joker because technically it is not included in the DCEU. Before I begin though, remember that these are all my own opinions, and if you're going to be upset that your favorite isn't mine, then I don't understand why you're watching. So let's get to it. I honestly have nothing good to say about Joss Whedon's atrocity. After viewing the Snyder Cut, I can't believe Warner Brothers thought his version was a suitable substitute for Snyder's vision. As someone who watches hundreds of movies a year, this may be one of, if not the worst films I have ever seen. And as someone who considers themselves a die-hard superhero fan, this is hands down an abomination. This is the reason no one takes DC seriously. I honestly, with all my heart, wanted to love David Ayer's vision for Suicide Squad. Even after being turned off by Jared Leto's take on the Joker, I had a tiny sliver of hope that this film would turn out to be good. It's glaringly obvious that this film was completely rushed through production. Perhaps Warner Bros. Was anticipating Batman v Superman to achieve its massive success quickly enough so that they could immediately afterwards unload another piece of their cinematic universe onto audiences while retaining a familiar aspect of the film's main characters. But I guess that is why DC failed in its early years of expanding their film universe. Because it was rushed, and Suicide Squad is just as bad as Justice League. But then again, without this version, we wouldn't get James Gunn's version that is soon to come out later this year. Now this is where the movies start to become rewatchable and kind of good. I can't express enough how excited I was for Wonder Woman 1984. I stand by the fact that the trailer for this movie was the best I had seen from last year. So when the time came to watch it on HBO Max, to say I was disappointed would be a complete understatement. The primary downsides to the film would have to be the drawn out runtime, as I felt every single second of its extensive length for sure, and Kristen Wiig's Barbara/Cheetah wasn't at all that impressive visually. If you cut her out in Chris Pine's regurgitated character and keep the sole focus on Diana and Maxwell Lord, this film would be much higher on my list. But Wonder Woman 1984 becomes just another superhero flick trying too hard to cram everything else in it. Speaking of anticipated movies, before there was an Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, there was Batman vs Superman. I cannot express enough my excitement over the hype that had been built around this film from the moment it was announced to the day it was released. But when I saw the film in theaters, I truly felt like I had been slapped in the face. I was incredibly let down, but after all these years and a couple rewatches, I have accepted the film for what it is. Ben Affleck is a credible Batman, and I can't help but be sad when I watch this knowing he was supposed to write and direct his own solo film. Maybe one day. Yes, this movie is significantly flawed, which has been very well documented, but this is one of those movies where there's still enough action and plot there that allows me to overlook the flaws and just sit back and have a fun ride. Beginning with Birds of Prey and Beyond, I think all these films are worth watching again and again. To say I was pleasantly surprised when I watched this in theaters would be an understatement. I walked out of this theater in awe. It takes cues from The Raid and John Wick instead of every other superhero movie. Badass, strong, psycho women stylishly murdering thugs and blowing shit up. Yeah, that was a nice twist, and it is pretty great. Margot Robbie really owns this role as Harley Quinn, and I believe this is one of the best girl power movies I have ever seen because it is just full of violence, comedy, and a strong female cast. Shazam was not just an amazing superhero film, it's also a great coming-of-age story. The thing I really loved about this film is how well it balances the different tones in it. At times it's scary and suspenseful, and at other times it's very charmingly funny and heartwarming. Zachary Levi is perfectly cast in this role. I was loving him in every minute he was on screen. His chemistry with Grazer is great as well, and the two of them together make up the heart and soul of this movie. If this ushers in a new era of joyous, passion-filled DC flicks, I'm all here for the new direction. Just say the word and let the power take over. Wonder Woman is a near-perfect superhero film. Gal Gadot delivers the unique combination of badassery and sweetness, strength and stubbornness and empathy, and becomes the greatest superheroine right before our eyes. Wonder Woman succeeds at being exactly what it set out to be, a strong introduction to the character and her lore on the big screen. Wonder Woman was the first entry into the DC Extended Universe that actually showed the potential that it has against its Marvel competition, and for that, I'm grateful. Before I start, I think Shazam and especially Wonder Woman are far superior than Man of Steel, maybe even Birds of Prey. But there is something about this film that feels like home to me. I vividly remember being in theaters as a kid waiting for whatever movie I was seeing to start, and this teaser popped up on the screen. Just a shot of clouds and a low and somber score pulsating through the aisles. Then a sonic boom ripped through the clouds and a man appeared in the distance as he shot up to space. And then it cut to black. To this day, I finally look back at that moment as one of the best teasers I have been able to witness. Man of Steel has its flaws, but it's far more than the typical hero flick. It's a character study on what it means to be a hero, and it fills me up with excitement and hope every time I rewatch it. I also have to add that Hans Zimmer's score for this film is probably up there with some of my favorite movie scores ever made. Yes, I know this just came out. Yes, I know it's 4 hours of slow motion. Yes, I know I'm still recovering from what I just witnessed, but holy mother of God, the Snyder Cut soared past everyone's expectations, including all the haters. I was extremely skeptical going into this film, knowing Snyder's reputation with giving audiences eye candy, but no substance to the story. I was also skeptical knowing that 2017's Justice League is the sole reason why I never get excited about DC anymore. But when I finally got through those 4 hours, I was utterly blown away. Like Endgame, the Snyder Cut gave me things I never thought I would see on the screen for years to come. From The Flash saving the day, to Darkseid fighting the gods, to Steppenwolf actually being a, dare I say it, great villain? It's awesome to finally see what a Zack Snyder film looks like when the studio gives him complete control to complete his vision. Do I think there are flaws? Hell yeah, but I don't think those flaws are worse than the same flaws you see in Avengers Endgame. I genuinely found myself surprised at how much I enjoyed this. I believe thanks to the film's length, the final battle actually feels earned. The heroes come together in a better way, more organically, when the viewer is given more context and character building scenes. I still believe these characters should have gotten solo films beforehand, but at least the final battle feels earned and the build-up is executed perfectly. Maybe with the release and attention this film will get, just maybe we will get the sequel we deserve. Just maybe they'll finish the damn Flash movie, and just maybe we'll get some more Batflick. Compared to all these films, Aquaman is the film I would pick on any rainy day. Aquaman is one of the most entertaining and beautiful superhero movies I have ever seen. It's amazing how much content this movie manages to deliver without ever breaking the rhythm and never leaving the viewer bored. The colors were rich and vibrant, the costumes and weapons beautiful, the architecture and vehicles bursting with creativity, the action was epic and clear, each strike carrying a very real weight. As for Jason Momoa, he really shines as the titular superhero. His physical appearance suits the badass character that the DCEU wanted to make from the get-go. Aquaman is one of the greatest comic book films of all time, certainly one of my favorites. It's on such a massive scale, and so much of that is thanks to James Wan's direction and phenomenal world building. Atlantis looks so alive and beautiful. I was truly shocked to see how great it looked. This film's action choreography is insane. Every fight scene had me pumped, and I was blown away, let me say that again, blown away by the third act.
The king is risen.
It is one of those movies that you go into with no expectations at all. You only go into it expecting a good time. And with Aquaman, I left bursting with excitement. It is a true marvel of a superhero film, and it is hands down my favorite DC Extended Universe film. Tune in every Friday for a new movie video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below what other movies you would like me to do videos on. Thank you, Mom, for editing my movie essays for my videos. I appreciate you. Till next time, thanks for watching. Catch you on the flip side.